Hello, and welcome to this low and slow breathing practice. This is a breath practice that's going to take about 10 minutes to help you slow down the heart rate, regulate the nervous system, and find more calm and relaxation in the body. So instead of feeling stress, finding more ease and calm anytime you need it in your day. This is especially helpful if rapid or more intense breath practices are not helpful to you right now, if you're perhaps recovering from chronic stress or have symptoms of burnout, and you really just want something super gentle to start to connect to breathing and noticing how you feel in the body and starting to regulate some of those symptoms of stress. Before we get started, go ahead and find a comfortable place. I would recommend being seated somewhere where the spine can be straight and upright and you can support your back. So if you can recline against the back of the couch or a chair, that's going to be really helpful here. And before we begin, notice, how is your body in space? A lot of times when stress happens, it also shows up in our body, in how your posture is, how you're seated, how you're carrying yourself. So a way to find a place where we can take deep breaths freely is sitting in a way where your ears can be over your shoulders and your shoulders can be right over your hips. So notice if you maybe need to bring your body back in space just a little bit. Again, that's where reclining against something is going to be really helpful. And think about this as reaching the top of your head all the way up to the ceiling. So finding some of that length across the spine and the sides of the body. One of the focuses that we're going to have in this 10 minutes is finding optimal breathing. So something that I think of as unrestricted breathing. So a lot of times when we're stressed, when we're working at our desk or driving a car, we're in a posture that restricts a lot of the breathing muscles that are needed to breathe in a spacious way. And when you breathe in a spacious, deep, slow way, it helps the body relax. So that's why the way that you sit in a breath practice and throughout the day is really important for how you're feeling and for your mood. So taking a moment to find that, and as soon as you do, go ahead and take a stretch. Any stretch that would feel good here to maybe roll out the shoulders a few times back behind you, maybe closing the eyes and rolling the neck side to side or in a circular motion, just moving really gently there. One of my favorite stretches is clasping the fingertips, reaching them up and overhead, flipping the palms. And as you take a deep breath in, stretching through the sides of the body. So finding some of that length here. Stay for an exhale. And then another deep breath in here. And with the exhale, relax the shoulders down. Even in this posture, feeling like you can start to soften the shoulders. You can clasp the arms back behind the neck, opening up the shoulders and the heart, reaching forward, just really gently here, stretching and breathing deep. And you can pause this video and take any other stretches that would be helpful for you. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and start. So before we begin, I'll invite you to either close your eyes all the way if that feels comfortable, or you can always just soften your gaze, look down and in front of you, whatever feels most supportive. And we're going to start by just focusing on the breath without changing anything about it just yet. I want you to create a snapshot of what you're noticing in the body right now, how you're feeling, and just notice what stands out. Notice the quality of the breath. So how are you breathing? What is the speed? What's the depth? And just taking a moment to start to let the mind and the body settle and bringing the way that you're breathing to the forefront of your awareness. So you'll just start to notice the breath moment by moment. And anytime the thinking mind starts to take over, you redirect it back to, how am I breathing? What am I noticing in my body? Taking a moment to just find that. And you'll breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll do that 5 times. So taking a big breath in, inhaling in through the nose. And a slow, controlled exhale out. I like to think about those exhales coming through the body as though I'm blowing a candle out in front of me. So inhaling in, filling up. And as you exhale out and let the breath go, you can bring your lips together and exhale out like you're blowing out a candle flame. Nice, soothing, grounding breaths, just letting yourself have this moment to arrive. A couple more, breathing deeply and exhaling to let it go. And the next place we'll connect with is your torso, the muscles in the body. Next up, I want you to be mindful of how you're seated and the muscles that feel any tension here. With the next exhale out that you take, starting to soften those muscles little by little. Maybe it's the jaw and the muscles in the face. Being mindful of anything you're holding in your face and all the muscles that support your facial expression. And the jaw muscle, one of the really important places in the body we want to be aware of when it comes to stress. And then moving your awareness down, your shoulders, the upper body, the upper back. See if you can start to soften the shoulders away from the ears, creating some more space and length across the sides of the neck and the torso. And bringing some of that gentle awareness and those deep connecting breaths down into the lower part of the torso, your belly, your lower back, and all the way down into the hips. And finally, you'll bring your left palm to your belly and your right palm to your heart space, resting it right in the center of the chest. And you'll start to notice as the palms gently move forward and back on the inhale and exhale. Finding some stillness and building some awareness before we modify and change how you're breathing. So just noticing which one of the palms do you notice more movement? Is it the left palm that moves more or the right? And then noticing what changes from the inhale to the exhale. Creating that awareness and being curious. When I inhale in, what do I notice about the breath? And when I exhale out, what difference do I notice? And the first part of the practice is engaging the low breath. So low and slow refers to breathing low in the body and slow, so slowing the breaths down. Throughout the day, we tend to take quick, fast breaths. We breathe many breaths a minute. And for many of us, that actually turns on the stress response even more. So we tend to add stress in the body to how we're feeling, in addition to all the things that are happening around us. And the way that we let go of stress is by slowing the breath down and finding breaths that can enter the body below the rib cage, below the chest. So starting to find the inhales coming all the way down into the belly, below the chest. Starting to connect with the movement that's happening below your left palm. And just know this isn't about forcing anything to happen. There's no need to press or push the belly out with the inhales. Simply think of it as inviting the inhale all the way down, maybe even to the space right below the belly button. So that entire abdomen, the belly, and even the sides of the torso can expand anytime that you take an inhale in, finding that low breath. And breath by breath, noticing that the breath starts to come down lower and you notice less movement below the right palm in the chest. In this way, what you're doing is signaling safety to the body. There's no need to breathe up. There's no need to engage the shoulders or the chest in the breathing process. Instead, letting the breath come all the way down, maybe even feeling it gently expanding the back of the body, the mid-back, the lower back. This should be a really subtle, really gentle sensation. And really what you're doing is just building awareness of what it's like to breathe lower down in the body. If it's helpful for a moment to bring both palms around your hip points or around the belly button to fully connect with that belly breath, you can do that. And building this muscle memory, this is that unrestricted breath, a breath that is freeing and spacious. Notice if there's any clothes that you're wearing that feel restrictive, just know you can shift that. You can change how you're seated in any moment. And just reminding yourself, I don't have to stay stuck in a breath pattern that doesn't feel good, that doesn't feel supportive. I can come back to deep, spacious breaths by connecting with the lower part of the torso, right below the rib cage. Feeling that the solar plexus, right at the center of the torso, can move also. And that's that diaphragmatic movement. The lower ribs can move gently forward and out to the sides. And you can use touch, gently placing palms on any parts of the body that are involved in breathing to physically feel that expansion. You can place the palms around the lowest part of your rib cage and even to the sides of the body. And think about breathing between the palms. This way, we're starting to connect with all the most important breathing muscles, the diaphragm, the abdominals, and the intercostal muscles at the sides of the ribs, and finding those most spacious, most freeing breaths. Breathing low into the belly, first and foremost. And noticing some of that gentle breath coming into the chest. Maybe the chest moves 10 or 20%, while the belly moves 70 to 80. And noticing that gentle movement, the lifting and rising on the inhale in, the front of the body, and then on the exhale out, that letting go. And just working with those low breaths for a few more moments. A part of this practice and coming back to it that's so helpful is teaching the body how to breathe, just like we would train our muscles in the gym. This is helpful for the mobility of the breathing muscles. And next, we'll start to connect with slowing the breath down even more. You might already be finding more stillness, more ease, and just simply breathing down into the belly. Let's see if we can find even more relaxation by slowing the inhales and the exhales down. You can keep the left palm on your belly and the right on your chest to keep physically feeling that expansion and letting go. And we'll slow the breath down by inhaling and drawing the inhale out, making it as long as you can. Maybe that's a count of 3, maybe a count of 4. And on the exhale out, also slowing the exhale down, and see if you can make it longer than the inhale. Maybe that's a count of 5 or 6 as you exhale out. So as you inhale, the breath is slow, it's intentional. You're breathing down into the belly. And as you exhale out, it's slow and controlled on the way out. Breathing in for a count of 4. Exhaling out for a count of 6. After a while, starting to focus on the lightest breath possible. Maybe after a few more breaths, disconnecting from effort, just letting the breath start to breathe you, letting it feel light and effortless as it comes into the body and as it leaves. Connecting with breathing that's so gentle, it's almost silent. Inhaling in, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling in, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Continuing on, you can let go of counting, just filling up and letting go. And as you slow the breath down in this way, maybe this doesn't feel easy right away and you notice just that slight air hunger build up, that desire to breathe more or more quickly. Just notice that and try to stay with a slow and intentional breath pattern. This is part of training the body back to big, optimal breaths, to breathing fewer breaths per minute. When we slow down the way that you breathe and lower the number of breaths we take per minute, it helps the nervous system become more flexible, more adaptable. It actually supports so many chronic conditions in reversing. And it helps you feel more balanced and calm for more of the day. As stress happens, you notice it. And instead of reacting to it, you respond in a calm and clear-headed way. And see if you're still keeping connected with those low belly breaths. And you can start to come back to regular inhales in, Regular exhales out, in through the nose, out through the nose. If the palms are still on your body, you can relax them down into your lap or at your sides and see if you can stay connected with that physical feeling of the palms being on the body and breathing into the palms, breathing down into the belly, feeling that expansion of the rib cage, especially the lower ribs. These big spacious breaths give your organs of digestion an internal, really gentle massage. And see if you can notice your heart rate compared to when you started this practice. Notice the heart rate in this moment. What's different? And staying with eyes closed, giving yourself these last few minutes to be in the present moment, be in the body, stay connected to your breath. Notice how good it might feel to breathe in a spacious way, where you don't need to hold or tense any part of the body, and the breath can just flow in and out, low, slow, and light. Seeing if you can balance the inhales and exhales in a way where you're breathing just enough, not more or less than needed. Finding that beautiful midpoint where you give the body exactly what it's asking for. When it's time to breathe in, you breathe in. When it's time to breathe out, you breathe out. Maybe taking a second to pause at the bottom of the exhale before the next nourishing inhale comes into the body. Reversing the need to rush. Just really letting yourself be here now with the slow, light breathing practice. As you return to natural breaths, no need to count. And just breathing in to fill up fully and exhaling to let go with ease. Let this last part of the practice be easy and quiet. And notice how you feel here. Beyond your heart rate, notice what else changed in the body. And then notice the quality of your mind. Perhaps it's just a little bit slower, a little bit more present. Maybe it's easier to keep the body still. And just like that, functional breathing doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be easy, light, but effective. And over time, the more you practice, the more this becomes your baseline. With eyes closed, if you want to take a stretch of the body, starting to bring some movement into your fingers, your arms, your wrists, and the neck. We'll take a bigger inhale in, still light and controlled on the way in. And a bigger exhale out through the mouth if you just want to softly let the breath go. With that open mouth, exhale out. And opening up the eyes when you're ready, coming back, noticing what changed, what shifted. If you're noticing more of that presence, that slow, calm quality of the body and the nervous system, you are in a beautiful place to come back into your day. And just know that when stress happens, it doesn't even take 10 minutes. It could take just a couple rounds of intentional breath to come into this awareness, just slow down the thinking mind. And instead of reacting to the stress, you can respond to it in a slow, calm, controlled way. If this was supportive, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the rest of the guided breath and mindfulness practices that you can find here. Hope it's supportive for you. Keep breathing light and slow and deep, and I'll see you in another video.